Hello guys, hello, welcome, hope you're all keeping well. Guys, this is for any new owners of the new DJI iFLIGHT F7 flight controller, the one specifically for the DJI air unit, and for anybody who owns or has bought a Bind and Fly iFLIGHT DC5, or for any newcomer who has got themselves the DJI FPV system and bought themselves a Bind and Fly quad and basically are stuck at programming the flight controller and setting everything up. So this is a quick cheat sheet if you're a complete newcomer to FPV and you've bought the DJI FPV system and you've bought yourself a Bind and Fly quad, or you have bought yourself the DJI air unit and you have bought the iFLIGHT IFF7 TWIN G and you're looking to set it up. This video will only work if you have the flight controller and the air unit all wired up correctly, with your S-bus signal control wire coming from the air unit to UART1 on the flight controller and your MSP protocol set on UART2. So as long as you've got the iFLIGHT F7 and you've got your S-bus wire going to UART1 and you have your MSP coming off UART2, basically this is going to be a drag and drop update. So guys, the first thing that you need to do is get your DJI system. You went out, you bought your new DJI system, you're all brand new, you're ready to go, you're raring to get everything up and running and going, away you go. Yoo-hoo! Make sure you get your goggles, your controller and your DJI air unit connected to the DJI FPV Assistant too. Make sure everything is all up to date and working. To do that, you're going to have to power up the batteries using the lead and a battery of your choice up to 4S. Connect the USB, update, blah blah blah. Do the same for your air unit and do the same for your controller. They all must be powered on when you do the DJI firmware updates. So just make sure that you're all powered up and everything is up to date on the DJI side. Right guys, okay, so once you're all updated and everything's ready to go, we're going to get round to updating the Betaflight. But just to let you know, especially for newcomers and anybody else maybe who's looking to program their iFLIGHT F7 board, this is a dump file. I'll be providing you with a dump file. The dump file is in the description below. Get the dump file there, download it to somewhere on your computer, somewhere that you know that you can find it easily, because later on we will need that dump file. Once we flash Betaflight, the 4.1 on the flight controller, everything, once you execute the dump file and edit program and save it, everything will be control set up and your controller will actually work the same as mine, and I will explain all the switches and stuff on the controller and what way it's going to work. For newcomers, take note. You'll need to take note of the switches, what way the positions is all it's going to be. For anybody who's used Betaflight before, you're probably, maybe you want to keep the switches the way mine are. Maybe you won't. If you don't, go in and delete all your switches and your modes and reset them all up the way that you would like to have them set up. But this is the way I fly using the DJI system, and this is the way that I have mine all connected up, or all working. Okay guys, so we're on to the controller here, and just a quick rundown on the switches the way I have mine set up. I'm not going to let this drag out for too long. We'll just quickly run over all the switches. Obviously we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be your pitch and your roll. This is going to be your throttle, and this is going to be your yaw. So this is mode number 2. That's what we call mode number 2. Obviously many of you probably already know this. This switch here, just above the pitch and control, or pitch and roll, this switch here is going to be the mode switch. In the top position, this is air mode. In the middle position, this is full acro mode, and in the bottom position here, this is angle mode. Angle mode is probably going to be ideal for beginners until you get used to it, and then you might want to flick up into air mode. Acro mode is just for safety. If you clip a tree, you can flick into acro and get yourself out of a spin. This switch here is basically a flip over, so if you hit the grass or hit the dirt and you want to flip yourself over upright again, one click does nothing in the middle, the second click down and that's you in turtle mode, flip over after crash. This switch here on the top, just beside the thumb wheel, this switch here is the motor start switch. and back down here is off. In the middle here is armed, propellers will start, and to the front again here is off. So in the middle is armed, and front or back is nothing, you're disarmed. This switch over here, I have this switch set as the motor beeper and fail safe. So say you crash your quad into the grass, long grass, you're looking for it, you can flick the motor beeper. As long as you have connection and the motors on the quad will beep, and obviously give you a tone and something to listen for, to find. And then for safety reasons and safety reasons only, just be very, very careful. You don't knock this while you're flying. But this switch here, if you pull this switch fully forward, that is fail safe, and it will cause the quad to actually completely fail safe. You can obviously disarm as well, but disarm just means it just drops completely. Fail safe, well, the way I have it set up in Betaflight is for it to land. So if you fail safe, it obviously doesn't come down and land like a normal GPS quad. It'll basically fall out the sky. The motors are set to spin still at with a PWM value of 1200, which is very minimal, but it's hopefully enough to prevent the quad completely smashing itself into bits. And fail safe is only to be used in emergencies, guys. So a wee quick run over once again. Motors armed in the middle, off and off either side. Mode switch, acro mode to the top, air mode into the middle, and the bottom is angle mode. Over here down to the bottom is flip over after crash or turtle mode. This switch on the side is into the middle for beeper, fully forward for fail safe. Right guys, hope you were taking note of all them switch positions there, especially if you're a newcomer, because you're going to need them, especially whenever you're learning how to fly. It's probably advisable if you've never flown before to start off in angle mode, just until you get used to the feel of the controls, and then don't be hanging around in angle mode too long, because it'll teach you bad habits. You want to try and get yourself into air mode or acro mode as soon as possible, because the faster you start to learn that, the easier it'll be to progress and start being able to fly and do tricks and stuff. Don't be hanging about in angle mode or changing none of the modes to horizon mode and stuff, because you'll teach yourself bad habits. But definitely if you're a newcomer, never flown FPV before, fly in angle mode for a wee while, for a couple of days until you get the feel of it, and then get yourself into acro. Somewhere safe, somewhere with long grass, because you will crash and you don't want to have to be repairing a brand new quad. You know, you want to try and keep flying for as long as you can before you start fixing these things, so go easy. Right guys, so we're going to go on to the next step here then, and the next step is going to be updating the firmware. Mine's already updated, but we're going to flash it again, and I'm going to show you what to do. So you need to make sure you have Betaflight downloaded to your PC, the latest version 10.6, because you're going to need that. And once it's downloaded, then we're going to flash this flight controller with Betaflight 4.1, and then once it's flashed with Betaflight 4.1, put this dump file on, execute the dump file, save it, and more or less that's you ready to go. Right guys, hello. Hopefully you can see me okay. I think the focus is a wee bit off, but we'll not worry. Right guys, so we're just about to hook up to Betaflight here, so make sure you have downloaded the latest configurator, and you have yourself a USB-C type connector, because that's the type that's on the IFLIGHT for the DJI system. So just make sure that you have a USB-C cable. Guys, don't do what I'm doing here. Obviously, you can either end up learning the hard way, but make sure you remove all your propellers and stuff when you're doing this before you connect any battery and stuff. Just make sure you have no propellers on there, like this one here. So just make sure that you have everything. In fact, I'm going to do this one. Right, so this is not the iFlight. This has got an iFlight board in it, but it's not the DC5. So we'll use this here. This is the Rotor HD1, but it's got the iFlight F7 board fitted in here anyway as well. So guys, right, so what you want to do is obviously get Betaflight. Right guys, sorry, as we were saying anyway, just to let you know, this video was sponsored by Ovonic. Premium batteries at affordable prices. Check them out on the link below for their Amazon store or their Ampal website. Great batteries guys. I'm using the 5S and 4S, and I have to say the 5S is actually beating the bag clean out of the Tattoo R-Line version 1 anyway. and the 4S is definitely beating the Tattoo Fun 5, so they're good batteries. Anyway, only kidding guys, that isn't the main thing. Just to let you know quickly, this video, this part now has been recorded like 4 days later than the original, because I went to go and edit the video and all my screen recording was all messed up. I don't know what happened, so I've had to get the laptop up and running to do this. So we're just going to try and carry on from where it left off, and hopefully the video will seem a wee bit seamless. Maybe not, but who cares. Guys, anyway, so we're on to the sort of the Betaflight section here, and we'll have still the iFlight F7 in here in the Rotor HD1. And guys, what we're going to do is we're going to open Betaflight. So guys, we are opening Betaflight and we're going to basically connect the iFlight F7, and we'll let that connect. There we go. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is you want to go, as soon as it's connected, then you want to go down to CLI. In the CLI you want to type BL for Bravo Lima and hit enter. Up here now in the top right hand corner you should see it saying DFU. That means you're in bootloader mode and you've got access now to flash firmware. If it doesn't say DFU, you need to update your drivers. Okay, so then once we have that, we'll go to firmware flasher. And then as you can see here, I've already loaded this firmware before, but we're going to flash it again. So you want to get your drop down list here, and you want to scroll down till you find, for the D version anyway, for the DJI version of the iFlight F7, you want to find IFF7 TWIN G_D. Select that, and then in the firmware menus you want to choose 4.1.1. That's what we're up to now, so it's 4.1.1. You want to select that as well, and then you click load firmware, and the firmware will load, and once it's ready to flash, then the flash firmware should go yellow here in the lower part. Click flash firmware. Also, just before you do this, up in this corner here you want to click on full chip erase. Make sure that's active before you do any of this as well. So then once that's done, load the firmware and then click flash firmware. You see it here starting to flash. Once it sort of flashes and gets up about halfway, then it'll verify the flash. It's just basically checking to make sure everything's loaded correctly. So we'll let that go, and then we should come up here to verifying flash right now, hopefully. And there's it verifying. Ta-da! And that's it, programmed. That's you. It's all sorted. So the next thing you want to do then is disconnect your USB cable. And then up here on the top left hand corner, click on the welcome tab back to the main screen, and then reconnect the USB cable. And then you'll notice there it says there are custom defaults for this board available. So you want to apply the custom defaults. Click on that. That'll save that and reboot and reconnect. There we go. So everything's running now. You can see everything's going. And then what you want to do here now, then obviously your configuration page and your ports tab and everything will not be set up correctly, so you want to click on CLI, and over here you want to load from file. Now the file that I have down in the description below is the file that we're after, so you want to download that file, have it somewhere safe, and then when we get to this stage here, then you go load from file. And you see I have it there, iFlight F7 dump for YouTube. So you click on that and open that. It'll ask you, do you want to execute that? And we'll click on execute. So it's going to run through everything. This is a full dump file. Some people don't advise to do this, but for this, because you're setting up exactly everything the same way as mine is, just let it flash everything. You'll see a couple of faults did pop up there. Don't be worrying about the faults there for VTX tables to do with this flight controller. If you're using analog video and you want to be able to use your smart audio through your controller, we don't need to use it because we're using DJI video and the channels and everything goes through the DJI goggles and controller, so we don't need to worry about those faults. So just let that go. Errors were detected, please review. Don't need to worry because I know what they are there for VTX tables and stuff. Then in the bottom CLI command line, then you want to type save. S-A-V-E, save, and then hit enter. Boom. Ta-da! And that's it. And it should reboot. There we go. And we'll go into the ports tab. We'll check and see. There we go. UART1's on Serial RX. UART2 is on MSP, which is good. Configuration. You see here motors are reversed because on the Dead Cat, the DC5, the motors are reversed. If your motors are not reversed according to this diagram, uncheck that. Also then, we aren't running bi-directional D-shot because I'm not too sure if your ESCs are up to date. If you want to run bi-directional D-shot, you need to update your ESCs to the latest version, 32.7 I think, before you can turn that on. So more or less everything here is pretty much default. The power and battery, I have the scaled myself. I've put in 1300 milliamp battery. You can adjust this if you like. The fail safe is set up for land at 1200. Throttle value, which is basically drop out of the sky. Your PID tuning is pretty much nearly stock, although D and D min, feed forward, absolute control, I-term rotation, feedback compensation, the I-term relax, and what else have we got? The gain values and advanced have been sort of adjusted slightly as well. In the filter settings, all the filters will be standard. You might want to play with yours once you sort of get everything up and running. All the modes are all set according to all the switches that I explained earlier in the video, and basically that's it, guys. Everything is, that's it, ready to go. You're ready. That's it, ready to rock and roll now, guys. So then click save, and then you can disconnect, unplug from the computer, power everything down, ta-da, and Bob's your uncle, and then you can go on to testing everything now in the next part of the video. Hopefully that worked. I hope that worked, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Haha, right guys, well that's it. Hopefully you followed them instructions to the T, and like I said, we used a different quad here. This is the rotor wrap, but it's the same because I've got the iFLIGHT F7 in there, so don't be worrying about that. It was only for safety and just to show you guys. Guys, the next thing then you want to do is you want to get your DJI system. You want to get it turned on, get your goggles on, and power everything up before you start any switches. Make sure you can see video. Make sure that you can see your aircraft voltage down in the lower right hand corner to make sure your MSP is working okay again. Then you want to go into your goggle menu. So you click the button and go into your menu. Go into menu, go down to settings, into settings, right down to the very bottom, device. Into device, and across in device is protocol. Check your protocol, and as long as your DJI system's up to date in protocol, you should be able to select between normal or S-Bus baud fast. You want to make sure in there is set to S-Bus baud fast, okay? So once that is done, come back out and back out and back out, and then like I say, check, make sure you get video coming from your quad, and in the bottom lower hand corner you should have your aircraft voltage. If you've got your aircraft voltage, that means that the MSP is working and the flight controller is telling the air unit your aircraft voltage. So guys, I'm going to power this up quickly then. I'll not be able to show you everything, but I'm just going to make sure it's working. So power up the controller, let it beep a wee second there actually. Get my battery cable out and battery out for the goggles. This is going to kill a bit of time. Power on the goggles. Everything's booting up nicely there. Everything's on, we're on the home screen. And then last but not least, we're going to power up the quad. There, we're all connected. We've got green lights, we've got green light on the air unit, red light, sorry. We have video. I can see the aircraft voltage down in the lower right hand corner. I don't think you're going to be able to see that, guys. Where are we? Down in there, is that the right one? can't make it work. There, down in there. See it? I think that's the right corner. Very right hand corner is the goggles, and then just across a wee bit there near the middle is the aircraft. So we'll have everything working, guys. Everything is good to go. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try and just make sure that the propellers will start. Obviously don't have propellers on, but if I switch the arm switch, it should start. So, right, make sure all your switches is back and up and stuff, throttle down to 0, and then all working, we're going the right direction, motor's spinning. Ta-da, good job. And then we can check over the flip over, we can pull down our switch for flip over, hit the arm switch, and then we should, turtle mode's working. Can't check fail safe, but we've got our beeper working. And then we'll obviously have our different modes as well. You know, you can't actually tell your modes. That's one of the problems at the minute with DJI and Betaflight and the MSP, is you can't actually see your flight mode, which is not ideal, I don't think, for beginners. Hopefully DJI can sort this in a later firmware. But just take note of the switches, guys. In the up position is air mode. In the middle position is acro, full acro, so it's without the air mode stability. And in the bottom, for most beginners, is going to be angle mode. You can check that in Betaflight when you're connected up to Betaflight. You can check all your switches, but you do have to have your air unit powered up by a battery. So just be careful, the air unit can become hot, so don't be staying on for too long. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes at a time. And then save everything in Betaflight before you disconnect the battery, and then let it all cool down a bit. I just don't like the idea of the air unit staying on for far too long, especially with newcomers. They might be on for half an hour and going through things. Just be very careful with the DJI air unit, guys, and try to limit your time as much as possible in Betaflight, and give it a wee break. If you find you're struggling and you're going over 15 minutes, the air unit's getting hot, make sure you save everything in Betaflight first before you disconnect and unplug the battery, because the only thing is, on Betaflight you won't be able to see your receiver tab working without the air unit being powered up. So some things like your switches and stuff, you might be doing your switch and you're wondering why it's not working. It's probably because your air unit has no power, you know. So guys, look, that's it all set up. That'll be your quad with any quad that you have with the iFlight F7 flight controller fit. That'll be it, fan, exactly like mine. The same as the iFlight DC5. You know, my PIDs and stuff are not set the standard. They have been worked on. So just be careful, guys. Take it easy for the first few flights. Check that your motor temperatures and all are okay, and hopefully everything will be working out fine for you. Guys, just disclaimer from me. Please, if you do use my dump file here, please be careful. Check everything fully before you're flying, especially for newcomers. Give everything a really good a good 2, 3, 4, 5 times check over, and make sure you're happy enough that you know how everything's working. You know, this is just to try and, this is video is to try and pull you out of a hole, to help you get your flight controller programmed and up and running. And with my settings, with this dump file, your quad will fly exactly like mine, you know, and all your switches is going to be the same. You might not want that, you might want to change it, but you're going to have to learn how to do that yourself, you know. The same as just a wee quick note at the end here, guys. That dump file there is for your flight controller for the iFlight F7. That is for the ESCs too. The ESCs are on BL Heli 36.2, I think. So there is no bi-directional D-shot. If you want bi-directional D-shot, which I do have on my other quad, you're going to have to update your ESCs to 37. Is it BL Heli 37? I can't remember. It's the latest BL Heli version anyway. You'll have to update them, and then in Betaflight then you have to click on the bi-directional D-shot and turn that on to give you your ESC telemetry and your bi-directional D-shot, which gives you your RPM filtering. So at the minute, the way this is, there is no bi-directional D-shot and there is no RPM filtering. If you want RPM filtering, guys, look up YouTube or whatever else for BL Heli bi-directional D-shot. Look up Betaflight RPM filtering and learn how to turn it on, because you're going to have to update your ESCs and do a lot of other stuff which I'm not going to include in this video. So guys, hopefully I'll help some of you out, get you up and running anyway, get you going for the meantime, because I've had numerous messages from guys on the iFlight pages and private messages from people asking me how to do this, how to do that, what do I do, how do I change it, my S-Bus isn't working, my blah 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 blah. And I've been at work and my phone has been pinging and pinging and pinging, and I've been trying to help people and work as well at the same time, and that's what gave me the idea to make this video. I know it probably went on an awful lot longer than what I really would have wanted, but there's no other way to show yous without the video going on just as long as it did, guys. So thanks for sticking with me and thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I pulled you out of a hole. For anybody, especially for newcomers, I hope it has helped you. Just be careful, guys. Check your flight controller, check your settings, check everything. Go for a nice wee easy test flight and land and check your motor temperatures and all sorts of stuff, you know. So guys, take care, have a great day, enjoy yourselves, fly safe, especially if you're beginning, guys. Good luck to you all. You're going to need it. You're going to end up like this someday, building more and more and more. You're going to crash, you're going to smash, you're going to be skint, your heart's going to be broken trying to fix stuff. You'll find out the hard way if you like FPV or not. You know, we all had to learn somewhere, guys. You know, I'm only a year in the FPV and I'm still learning. So guys, just wanted to share that video with you. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll get you all again now. Bye bye! Yoo-hoo! My back's killing me, it's sitting in the seat. Jesus Christ, bye.